Hello there.
Hello, everybody.
All right, so Sorian, Pacific, Alpha 2546 versus Neon. Who do you think?
Oh man, I think I'm gonna favor Alpha in this one.
Okay, why so? Why so?
I don't know. I have a feeling. I just got to go with my gut on this one. But you know,
Okay.
it's a water map. It's a lot of water, which can throw some players off. So we might see something interesting.
Mm-hmm. Titans, yes, no?
I don't know. I'd love to say Titans, but we haven't seen very many of them. We haven't seen them show up in these previous matches, so I have my doubts.
All right, well, it looks like we're about to load in here, and we do have the Exodus Mystery Mayhem Alpha 2546 versus Neon on Pacific. And, of course, today I have the wonderful Sorian here to co-cast with me.
Yep, I'm still here. Still here, everybody.
What? That sounds like disappointment. You're not having fun here? The greatest thing ever?
I'm having a whole lot of fun. That's why I signed up for this tournament in the first place. Even before I knew that it was going to be a Titans tournament.
Even before, quote, says the guy who planned it all originally.
I didn't plan anything. I planned nothing. Oh, yes. This map. This is going to be interesting. You know, you've got the two separated islands, which means you're pretty much forced in going, you know, air, bots, naval, you know, mostly air and bots, or air and naval rather.
I was gonna say,
and then you
air
have
bots.
I know. And then you have all these trees, like the tree economy is definitely going to be coming out here.
Well, I'm not too sure about that, especially with the combat fabbers now not being able to be amphibious just because of the barnacle that has been released, the new naval combat fabricator. So we might, if they do decide to go, these players do decide to go for the tree economy, of course, being the greatest economy, we might have to see some pelican drops, really.
Yeah, that is true. Some pelican drops would be interesting. Although, yeah, I don't know. I could see the pelican drops being good, but with so little landmass, you know, you're going to be kind of limited in what you actually drop.
Mm-hmm. Well, it looks like we do have spawning in on the pink side and/or the complete south side. We have spawning in with the pink commander, boasting the best colors. We have Alpha 2546. And his opponent, spawning on the northern side, might just be Santa Claus. He is toten white, starting with the bot factory first. It is Neon. Now, both these players, I mean, to say that they are anything besides fantastic, I don't think I've ever seen them be in any other rank besides Uber. So these guys know exactly what they're doing. Even though this is Titans, Pacific was a map that was originally in the original Planetary Annihilation 1v1 map pool. So both these players know exactly what they're going to be doing.
Yeah, agreed. It looks like Alpha is getting his start in naval. He's going to expand out, and looks like he's going to primarily be water for now. Looks like Neon decided to get out a bot factory first, and what is he doing? I was going to see if he was doing the trichotomy. I saw the fabber. I saw the combat fabber come out. Is he going to start reclaiming trees? Yes, he is.
Of course, the
There
tree economy is the best economy.
I called it.
Now it looks like we have a a piranha starting to move its, I guess, wiggle its way towards the center of the map, or the most water area on this map. I don't know, the main ocean part of it. And I think Alpha's kind of expecting this. We do have a normal now, just chilling out with the two fabricators he's got now. Something that I've seen on Pacific, there's kind of like two styles you can go. You can either go for the main body of metal, which is this really big sphere of metal here, tons of water, of course, but that's just kind of the map that they play on. And then there's also the always famous, you just get a little bit of metal, you turtle up really hard. I mean torpedo launchers and anti-air everywhere, and then you rush, and I mean rush with like 6 or 7 fabricators tier 2. So it doesn't look like so far either player has queued it up, but it looks like Neon is being a bug, and I think Alpha took care of it pretty quickly.
Yes, he did. I like the new torpedo launchers. I think they add a lot to the game.
I think they're balanced. They're not like you can put one in nothing, and I mean nothing. Even tier 2 will kill it.
Yep. No, that torpedo launcher definitely ended that real quick.
Though it's actually kind of interesting because while we were sitting in lobby just kind of talking to these guys, the last time these two had played was actually, I believe, in the Big Bang qualifiers, or it was another one, and neither one really had much of an opportunity to meet each other. So this is really going to be the kind of the first introductory, see how these two players will stack up against each other. They might have seen each other in the ranked system or the 1v1s, but this will definitely be a real test of fate, as there is a beautiful commander statue on the line, and it does look like Alpha doesn't want to risk anything, putting up the combat fabric, setting up some landmines here for any amphibious docks that might try and walk their way through.
I'm hoping he tries to walk through there, because landmines are super fun to watch go off.
They're the best part of the day, really.
Oh god, it'll be beautiful. Neon's got these bots, I don't know, just patrolling along the coastline, just waiting to see if Alpha sends anything across, and Alpha taking the more turtley approach of, I'm just going to set some landmines here, and if you show up, you show up.
Well, I think it's easier, really, because now, though Neon has these bots kind of patrolling around, they're not doing anything, they're not really harassing, though there isn't anything to harass at the moment. Interestingly enough, though, Alpha has these, or excuse me, I thought there was two. Yeah, there's these two fabricators just kind of sitting here. I wonder if he's going to possibly get a Pelican to pick him up and fly him over. We do see a Pelican, I think that's, it's a combat fabric, okay, from Neon doing pretty much the exact same thing. So these two players are definitely starting to set up for a bit of a kind of a long game here.
Looks like Alpha's game is move into this big water area that you were talking about at the beginning, and he's just going to try to lock it down with torpedo launchers. He's got this torpedo launcher going up in the middle of this body of water just to try to, these metal extractors belong to me type of thing. And I wouldn't be surprised if he starts, moving up into the bigger area where there's more metal and doing the same thing. Oh, he does have a transport going. What's he got in there? A combat fabricator.
Forget the fabricator. I think your wish is about to get granted. These docks running straight towards Alpha's base, and they're pretty much lining up to hit at least half of those landmines here. So soon to be, though it might be D-Day, these are going to be some super nice connections here, as the docks don't even think about landmines.
Yep, you just get to see them melt on landmines.
The explosions. Four make it though.
20 or whatever so docks turns into 4 real quick.
So that was a minor trade. I think that was a fantastic, it was maybe 40 metal for each of those landmines, and I think 60 for each docks that he blew up, and there was a good all of them that died.
Yeah, that was value right there. That those landmines paid for themselves.
It's the little things.
Absolutely. Looks like there's a little bit of back and forth going along in this body of water. Neon looks like he's going to try to position himself to take the bulk of these metal extractors in the middle of the water. But he's only got a token set of naval units there, so it's still anybody's game for the middle of that ocean there.
Right. This is actually something I do like out of Neon here. He's putting up a radar and an probably some anti-air, and I'm expecting a torpedo or two around that. It's a big map. It's a giant body of water, and especially since naval units, their value is in their numbers. So if you've got 4 or 5 narwhals or orcas starting to move up or down this area, you need to know, because they can easily destroy everything you have in your base. And hello there, Tier 2. How are you today?
Man, a quick Tier 2 coming out from Neon.
There's the rush.
Yep, Tier 2 naval rush. Alpha's still working on basic naval factories.
I was going to say, it's interesting, though, because though he hasn't fully taken the main body of metal, he still does have a pretty commanding area over it. He doesn't have all of it, per se, but there's definitely a lot more of Neon on that area than there is Alpha. And, this is a bad idea from Alpha, trying to move in while his docks can't shoot up. This is going to stink to be an Alpha, or at least to be some of his docks right now.
Yeah, because the bots, they can shoot into the water, but they can't shoot out. So if you're trying to get out of the water, you're basically rolling up on an opponent that can attack you, and you can't attack them.
It's like shooting really docks in a barrel.
Exactly. It's exactly what it's like. Looks like Neon has done a good job of pushing himself out into the center area in the middle of the big body of water.
But that radar is going to let him know that there is a big orca army moving in here to try and kind of get him out of here.
Yep, that torpedo launcher is going to start doing work here so soon. He's got decent range, and he's got Soon, very, very soon. Well, Naval's kind of slow, so you can't say quickly. Like, it's gonna take a little bit for them to get there. Oh, there's the torpedoes.
That's the thing, though. Torpedo launchers can actually be killed. Like, that's,
I know, it's amazing,
the
right?
biggest thing. Like, I thought it was impossible, but they actually die now.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. They die now.
It's a rare sight to say myself.
Looks like Alpha is pushed back Neon's little, little
Now,
build-up in the center here.
I'm not a man of much fear, but that looks like some very, very well-defended beachhead for Alpha there.
Yeah, those mines are... Those
mines,
mines,
the walls, the torpedo.
Yeah.
Alpha is very scared of something coming through his back door, and the problem. Well, I mean, I guess it makes sense because right now he's pushing really hard in the main metal body, and I don't want to say he's winning it because there's some units from Neon, but Neon is backing out of there. Yeah,
but Neon just has his first Leviathan rolling off the factory. That right there is a game changer. Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna see a carrier.
He's got a Typhoon queued up. Oh, I want to see that come out because those things are awesome.
Oh, that's right. They actually have names besides the thing that they actually look like, the carrier. Right. The Typhoon is about to be built. It's pretty much 30% done, so it's going to be out soon. But I really like that he did build that Leviathan first. Since it isn't an Atlas, and since it's pretty much a mobile Hulkins, but it has the damage of like 6 of them. So besides having the wonderful ability to pretty much murder anything on the other side of the planet, it also has a very nice shotgun cone, so it'll fire 4 or 5 of the shots and then destroy everything in its path. So especially units like this right here that are all clumped up, you want to talk about an immediate death. I mean, you had Doc shooting Docs in a barrel, but let's put a shotgun and then put on a Leviathan, and death will come for those units.
Looks like Alpha's got a small naval force going around the backside, or Neon rather has a small naval force.
Launchers.
That torpedo launcher. Going around picking off some metal extractors, putting some pressure. Yeah, it is. He's putting pressure down on Alpha. You know, trying to keep his economy down as much as he can. Just trying to delay until he can get his Tech 2 game going. I think that's all he's trying to do right now, is just keep Alpha contained as much as possible, keep him delayed until, you know, his Tech 2 gets full force. Because once his Tech 2 comes out, if Alpha doesn't have an answer to that, he's going to start losing really quickly.
Right, well, you had mentioned economy, and so far we have 202 on Alpha and 236 on Neon. So these players have been pretty much identical. Oh my goodness, the Typhoon.
The Typhoon.
Wow, that air disappeared.
Oh, man, those
drones.
Okay.
The carrier has arrived.
So the carrier, what it does is it shoots out these little projectiles.
It shoots death.
And then these projectiles turn into these little air units that you can move around for a short period of time because they're constantly losing health over a period of time. But yeah, you can, once they come out and they turn into air units, you can actually control those air units and they will just go around decimating things.
They can't shoot Barracudas. Interesting. Well, they'll kill everything else in the time that they will be here, but holy cow, the units just disappeared. I don't know where they went.
They're gone. They were there, and then they're not. Looks like
holy cow!
Like Alpha's response is to build an advanced naval factory.
Helios.
I'd like to see a Helios come out because that would just be amazing. I don't think he's got time for it though. He's going to start losing all these metal extractors now.
Oh my goodness! No anti-air protection here from Alpha. Neon just absolutely destroying all of the economy that Alpha had. I think he was at what 206 before, now at 138. I mean, just to say he's lost most of his economy would be an understatement. It's just disappeared, and these units, Sorian, very powerful. I like them. They just, every time 1 or 2 dies, they'll just kind of send a few out, and they'll catch up with their buddies and continue destroying everything that Alpha holds dear to him.
Yep, they are certainly vulnerable to AA, though. Like, once they go into an area protected by AA, they just kind of vanish. Like, they weren't even there.
Woo! It's a Helios!
Oh, he went the Helios route.
Now this is interesting. I will critique him on this. I would think in the Ares, which is the hovered fortress tank from Alpha, I think it would be personally the better choice. The Helios in this situation, though it is a Titan, I'm so happy to see it. I don't think it might be the right one of the 4.
I mean, really, that's his only option here. Like, he went box.
But in the back, at the same time, though, this push.
he could go the seismic bot. I mean, he could go, yeah, that push is going to hurt. That push is really
But back to the
gonna
Titans,
hurt.
back to the Titans. Forget the stuff that's
Back
dying.
to the Titans. Forget the fact that he's, decimating Neon's economy, But
Well,
back
the
to
Typhoon, holy cow, you get like 2 or 3 of those little babies going, and this swarm effect, I don't think if there's, I mean, if you get too many, or if you get like 4 or 5 of those Typhoons out, how do you counter it? I mean, you'd mentioned AA, but there's just so many.
I don't know, the AA decimates them. I mean, look at them disappear. Like, they're disappearing like crazy over here.
Yeah, there's only
It really
like
doesn't
5
take much AA.
narwhals.
I mean,
but
sure.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Would I be surprised if there was a balance patch here that nerfed the lifetimes of these fighters at some point? No, I would not be surprised at all.
Oh, I was
But,
thinking just like a metal cost.
Oh, don't they cost metal or energy? I don't know. They cost something.
It basically just pumps them out, and then it's like, all right, boys, go kill everything that way. And they're like, yes, sir, and then death.
Yeah, they probably just live too long is the problem.
Well, this is interesting, though. I like that Alpha does have some barracudas. I was about to call them scuba divers, and I was like, no, Quitch will hit me for that. But this is really nice that even though Neon does have all these Typhoons, and I mean, simply put, they've done a fantastic job. I mean, Alpha's economy disappeared. But if we look at what Neon still has, he lost half of his base there to that engagement, and there's no way that's going to be able to take this middle metal ocean here, just because the AA that Alpha does still have surviving, just he won't be able to break it. Now, the Leviathans that Neon does have are slowly starting to kind of chip him away, and I'd really like to see Alpha backing these units up, just so he isn't losing them. But these Typhoons just, oh goodness, the docks! Oh, would you look at that? That's just the docks are just looking up like, no, you can't get me now.
That's right. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do up there? Nothing.
What are you gonna do? Kill the rest of my stuff? Go ahead, I'm underwater. You can't kill me.
Oh, those fabbers. That's sad.
Well, there is some AA here that Alpha does have still surviving, and you should be able to clean this up. My concern, though, is there's just so many. What's the correct term for these units? The swarm units, the flyers. What do you want to call them, Sorian? You named them.
I didn't. I named nothing. I don't know. Do they have an actual name? Are they just called drones?
Let's call them squalls. Let's just go with squalls because it's a typhoon and it's all navally. So the squalls did die very quickly to the AA, and this Helios 12% complete. Oh, I want it to be done already.
I don't know if it's gonna last long enough. You know what? Alpha's got a tier 2 naval fabric coming out. Like, for the first thing to come off his advanced naval factory, that's probably a good choice. The second fabber, probably not so much.
I would agree. I think he needs one, and as long as he just plays, babysitter with it and just keeps an eye on it all the time, and just gets the tier 1 medal, then the tier 2 medal, and then gets some flak out. Alpha now acknowledging those squalls are savage. I mean, there's death and destruction from like a Helios. Manhattan drop, and then there's the squalls when they have time to do things.
Yeah. Oh man, they're getting picked off by AA now, though.
Well, it's good to see that they're actually counterable, besides just kind of go underwater and pray that they don't learn to build torpedoes.
Man, if they could fire torpedoes, that would just...
Oh man,
that would be so
I think I might make a nice forum post, like, all right, Uber, please, this is kind of strong here.
little bit. Oh man.
But I do like Alpha's decision. This one fabricator bot will slowly start getting his economy, and he has played to the counter of the squalls. He's built quite a lot of anti-air, and anytime I think we do see these squalls that do get in somewhat range, I mean, the anti-air just destroys it. I mean, I don't want to call it overpowered at all, because there is definitely plenty of balance. These 3 gone narwhals just pretty much killed off 90% of those squalls, so they're still counterable, and there's no need to get out the OP sticks. So
it still works. Not quite yet. No, they're definitely counterable. AA, I mean, they're an expensive unit to build. Like the Typhoons, they're not cheap. They're absolutely not cheap, and they're already tier 2. I mean, it took a while. And Alpha didn't scout. Like, if he'd have scouted, he'd have known that, the advanced naval factory was coming, and he could have prepared for it. But he didn't.
Now this is interesting, though. Neon's been sitting here at 209 for, I think, a good 4 to 6 minutes here. He really hasn't been expanding, and because of that, he really hasn't been kind of applying the pressure that I think he really should be. I think he's really just kind of sitting back. This Helios, though it might have been a really costly decision, it is at 20%, so we only need to go 80 more %, and we might actually see Alpha finish the Helios. And really, as long as Alpha just kind of keeps calm in this really stressful situation, I mean, I know these squalls have been doing just devastation to his economy and everything he has. As long as he gets plenty of AA up and then just plays it safe, I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah, he's building a Stingray out of his advanced naval factory. It's an interesting choice. I think he just really wants the AA coverage.
I was going to say, I would think obviously there is no tier 2 hard like anti-flak unit for the naval yet, but a Stingray is a very interesting choice. I think he's going to try and all in with this Helios, and maybe he's just trying to get the Stingrays out for the Avenger protection that, as we can see, I mean, there's I think 4 or 5 Avengers here for Neon that are just kind of waiting around right now. I think what he might just do is, I think he's going to try and do what we saw with the Orbital Factory. He's going to just fly 1 or 2 Avengers over, try and pick it off right before it finishes, and then just laugh as it uninstalls itself.
Oh, did you see this flak cannon just eating up drones by the half dozen? It's amazing.
A flak cannon's favorite meal, squalls. Lots and lots of squalls.
Yes, lots and lots. Yeah, those flak cannons just doing work against those drones. So I think Alpha's starting to stabilize at least some. And once he gets some more flak cannons down in his base, you know, he'll be at least protected, but he won't be able to go outside of his base.
I was going to say, even if he doesn't go outside...
either player really looks like they want to.
Sorry?
It doesn't look like either player really wants to leave their base. Like, they don't have... Neither one of them has economy anywhere outside their base. They're just happy to use the metal that they've got in their base at the moment.
Well, it's kind of interesting here, since, like I had mentioned, Neon's still at 209 metal, and adding on all this tier 2, he's actually dropped himself very low, and especially in a situation like this where he should have, in any other situation, pretty much murdered Alpha a while ago. He's really letting Alpha come back into this, and I think just playing so passive and just trying to use these Typhoons to the ultimate best of their ability, it's really kind of hindered him. I think their presence as more of like a run, pick off a few metal extractors, and then just get out of dodge, and even if they can't, you know, build a few more. But he's really not been as aggressive, I think, with the Leviathans that he has and the docks and every other unit that he has. He's been very passive, which I think has just given Alpha so much room to breathe.
No, I agree. And now Alpha is stalling energy really hard, which, you know, he's in trouble if he's stalling energy.
Well, he's trying to just get metal back up, and I mean, both are doing pretty poorly to begin with that. And oh, goodness gracious, he should not have moved out with those narwhals. Those narwhals pretty much the only way that he could protect himself from the squalls, besides the 2 flak that he's got up. I mean, those squalls are not getting into that base for sure, but anywhere else, he has to be super careful.
Yep, Stingray rolled off. It looks like he queued up another Stingray.
Okay. Here's me with the thumbs up.
Not sure that's the right call, but,
yeah.
you know. Hey,
I mean,
I think... I don't know. I think he really wants the anti-air, and Stingrays will give you some anti-air
that'd be the
support.
most valuable, but oh my goodness, even the Squall's just going after the energy now. I mean, they just do not care.
Oh, those flak cannons, though.
It's like every time you see a Squall for half a second, there's a flak cannon to remind them that, yeah, AA is pretty powerful.
Yes, it is.
So it's going to be the battle of the Squall versus the shotgun, and I think any time it gets in range of that anti-air shotgun blast, it's just... the Squalls don't last.
Oh man, now they're both stalling power. What the heck is this, man?
This is what happens when 2 players try and play cutesy with each other and just ended up both kind of falling on their face. Neon's trying to just make these Squalls work, and he's pretty much flying into his counter every single time. And then Alpha trying to be pretty much really cutesy with his Helios. Great idea, but it's not paying off, to say the least.
No, he hasn't even finished it yet, and it looks like he may not. If this game goes, this game would have to go pretty long for that to come into play.
If we're only at what 32%, I'm predicting around the 32 to 34 minute mark. But oh goodness, a Zeus.
Oh, where's the Zeus going down? Oh, there it is. See, that has a chance, though. That actually has a chance. If he gets enough build power on that, that has a chance of completing.
But the flak from Alpha, I mean, he's literally building the exact the worst thing to build, a flying unit, which, as he probably has seen with the Squalls, I think there's, what, like 6 tier 2 flak cannons just waiting for that thing?
That is true. I think I just got overly excited at seeing another Titan being built. That
I would like to see
I just don't
the
care.
Ares or the Atlas. I mean, at this point, you
Oh, yeah.
really don't need another flying unit which can get murdered by more anti-air, which, I mean, that would pretty much just reinforce Alpha's paranoia.
Yeah. You know what? Bring out the Atlas. I could be okay with that.
I would too. It'd be great just to see the ground shake.
Uh-huh. Absolutely. Oh man, those Leviathans getting close.
I was gonna say that is a misclick that I have ever seen. 2 Leviathans dying to Barracudas. Like
That's just sad.
that should never happen. 99 at a time.
Jeez.
I mean, he might just be going for the. Oh my god, never mind. I was gonna say, I'll build so many, your flak can't stop me, but I just saw, I think 99 of them die to 1 flak shot.
That's ridiculous. He
That's
just doesn't
wonderful.
care anymore. He's got such a huge eco advantage. He's just going to continue with this.
Well, with these, with the 2 tier 1s and the tier 2 just kind of deciding to go for a spray paint style instead of actually just kind of dumping that nanolath on, it might take a while, but I think the Zeus will catch up and surpass the Helios eventually.
Yeah, probably. Neon definitely has the better economy here.
Well, I would say he has the better economy, but like he hasn't done anything with it. I mean, he should be at least at 400 metal by now. I mean, he really has just neglected his expansion. I know he knows he's in a commanding position, but my always favorite is why win easily when you can win hard and just remind them that you're the better player, like really securely. Plus, he could build the Helios or the
Watch the
Zeus
Stingray disappear.
Oh god! Watch as I make your Stingrays disappear.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
that flak though.
he
yeah,
might just get to. Yeah.
He needs
Go ahead,
something.
sorry.
I was just gonna say he needs to do something. Like this squall thing is great for keeping Alpha penned in, but it's gonna start biting him in the ass. Like it really is.
I think Alpha knows this, and we're about to see a scuba fight here. This Kraken just kind of trying to play protectorate of these Typhoons, but if Alpha realizes how close he is to these, and I think. Oh no, he just saw them. Okay, so Alpha's gonna start firing off some of his missiles, but I think. Oh, are they shooting the? Okay, no, he sees the Kraken. He sees the Typhoons, so he does see the Typhoons. He should really just focus fire these. The anti submarine of Alpha or Neon, excuse me, is gonna come in, and none of them die. So that's a really disappointing thing.
Yeah, he had an opportunity there. Like he really had an opportunity there, but now he knows where they are.
But yeah, I was gonna say now he knows where they are, and maybe if he can just send in a few more, which it looks like he is trying to. But oh my god, the squalls!
That hurts.
They literally can overwhelm the flak now. It's gotten to that point.
Yep. Yeah, he's slowly losing. Alpha just slowly losing the game at this point. Those squalls.
I think it was over probably about 14 minutes ago, but he's trying, and I think that's going to make Alpha the winner of this one, even if he doesn't get the commander statue.
I don't think that. Yeah, Neon's going to have to do something because I don't think the squalls can hit the commander in the water there. Like I don't think he's just going to win just by squall. He's going to have to take something over there eventually. I
think that's what the Zeus is for, maybe, unless the Zeus can't penetrate water as well, which honestly, uber please, but you know, whatever.
Yeah, I wish I had an answer for you there, but I didn't work on that unit, so it's going to be surprising to me too.
What he could do with the Helios, if it finishes in time, rush a teleporter on the land before the squalls see it, then pick up the commander with the Helios and then drop it in his base. He might die with it, but at least he would blow up in his opponent's base. And honestly, I think that's all that matters, really. Oh, the counter Typhoon. What is this insanity?
Yeah, that's too little too late.
It's 74%, 75%. I mean, it might actually go up in time, and I don't know how that would play out. I mean, I don't think there's a delay time for them, and well, it's not dying too quickly. Actually, yeah, it's gonna go down, which is disappointing. But
yeah, that naval factory's gone.
I was gonna. You're a cruel person. Oh, this is brutal. This is poor Alpha. Someone's gonna need an internet hug after this one.
I think so. So what do you think's gonna happen first? The Helios or Alpha deletes his commander?
I want him to finish it. Honestly, I want him to man it up, just get the Helios out and say, it's done. Yeah, Neon wants to see it as well, so I think we're gonna have like a bit of a non-aggression truce here for a couple minutes while this Helios finishes, because now it is quite literally running off of the pure commander economy. I think, well, yeah, he doesn't have any other metal extractors anywhere, so it's just the commander economy. So now he is building a Helios from his commander's blood, sweat, and robotic tears.
This is just heartbreaking.
Brutality, yeah. He's going to have the Helios up, but at what cost? As the Helios looks down on what used to be his base, he can only look over to the commander as a robotic tear leaves its face. But this Zeus, though, I'm kind of concerned, because that's going to go up much faster, and he really doesn't have any anti-air, because if he did, it would get killed off by the squalls.
He needs to put more build power on that Zeus. Alpha's commander's getting
Where,
close.
though? Like, where? There's squalls everywhere.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about... Oh, yeah. You're talking about the Helios. I'm talking about the Zeus. I want the Zeus to finish.
Neon's fine. I mean, I'm not even going to get onto him. He's fine. He can probably expand more, because he's been sitting there at 209 again, but he's floating. He's got no problem. I think Alpha is going to take a walk, though.
Yep, no, Alpha is taking a walk. He's gonna walk into a torpedo launcher.
Oh no!
Here.
I hope Neon disables all the firing capabilities, so he can just kind of have all of his stuff just hug, just a nice little robot hug.
How about a squall hug?
I think the squalls would devour the commander before he even got out of the water.
Oh my gosh!
That would be scary. I mean, if I was the commander and I just see these little suckers start dive bombing me in the water, man, I would be panicking. But it looks like the Avengers are just kind of sitting around there. There's an umbrella up. This commander is more than safe. Honestly, even if he did get the Helios out and... Oh, no. Okay, no, there are some Avengers. Thank God. Okay, I was going to say this. Here we go. It's round 2. The orbital factory from before. This one Avenger is going to try and make its move, and I hope that Alpha's looking, because if he doesn't, he's going to lose this Fabricator.
Oh, man.
And if he kills the Fabricator, I think he's just going to self-delete at that point, because that would be so... No, he sees it. The Avenger stopped patrolling. $10 in a dream, baby.
Oh, he's moving the torpedoes. He's moving his subs in.
Hang on. Let's take a look here for a minute.
Zeus is at 99%.
Torpedoes. There's only one more torpedo. Oh God, here comes the Titan.
There it goes.
Okay, GG.
There goes the Zeus. Yep. It's over.
Lightning God has arrived, and that sucker is armed and ready to murder. Now let's see. Does it shoot the water? Oh, yeah, it does. Okay,
yeah, it shoots.
Yep.
It shoots.
GG.
It's fine.
GG. Oh man. He lost. Where did he lose so much health? Like the commander's. Wow, the commander does quite a bit of health to that unit, though. Wow.
Yeah, the commander AA did quite a bit of damage, but wasn't enough.
Of course. Well, congratulations to Neon for ruining pretty much the only Titan I was really excited to see. The Zeus did a great job, but I wanted that Helios to finish.
You and everybody else, man. You and everybody else.
Alright, well, let's throw it over to Quitch and TheWrongCat, because I bet you anything they have a few things they want to talk about.
No, absolutely. So. Yeah, yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ghost. Thank you very much, Sorian. Yeah, hell of a game. What do you think, TheWrongCat?
I think what happened at the start there was some really fun play initially. Alpha, I was really interested to see those mines that Alpha put down on his island to start with. That was great to see. I think of the two, Alpha played much more conservatively. He didn't really expand anywhere near as aggressively as Neon was, and that meant that Neon was able to keep his eco advantage right the way through the game.
Well, I think that both players, really, there was some pretty, especially late on, there was some pretty shocking expansion, particularly from Neon, who did end up claiming, well, did end up being in a position to own most of the map. There were some battles early on for expansion over the central island, and both players made their moves on the amount of metal at the back of the planet as well. And we saw Alpha starting to put down torpedo launchers to claim that space. I think we can both agree, surely, that the turning point there was when Neon gets up his T2 and starts pumping out the Typhoons.
Oh yes, absolutely. Those were absolutely brutal, devastating, and it took Alpha a long time to react to that and start building those flak cannons. But unfortunately, you don't have any flak on mobile units, so he was very much reduced to sort of just defending stationary, static defensive positions against the squalls.
Well, I think I really think that Alpha took too long to realise what the real counter was, and it wasn't AA. When he went subs, that's when he started to have success. Because the problem is that while he can build the AA and hold that small section of base, he could not hold the rest of the map. He could not be in enough places to defend against them. But Neon had put everything into that tier 2, everything into Typhoons, everything into Leviathans, and there really is no strong torpedoes apart from the advanced torpedo launcher at the tier 2 level. If he'd simply not crippled his economy with a really, really bizarre orbital choice, I don't get the orbital choice at all. If he hadn't done that, he wouldn't have crippled his economy, and he could just potentially have pumped out those subs at 2-3 times the rate he was doing. Because I mean, if we look at the graph, for most of that game, he was below, well, about the 10-minute mark, he was well below 50%. He was like 20-30% efficiency. It was just terrible.
I say by about 12 minutes in, the economies were still fairly well balanced, and then as he starts to build that orbital titan, he just drains away a third of his economy just building that thing from that one orbital fabricator.
Well, just from the orbital factory itself as well. We see, looking at his view, that he hasn't scouted Neon's base, so he doesn't know he's gone tier 2. And really, he needs to be over there checking that out, because tier 2 and naval can be so devastating. I mean, the Leviathan itself was a reason to tech up quickly on naval, and now obviously the Typhoon is incredibly effective, as we saw. But yeah, if he just hadn't made that bizarre choice and basically he crippled his own economy with some of these decisions and just gone with the Barracudas, I think he'd have had some amazing success on pushing that base.
I agree. Barracudas are fantastic. Obviously, he didn't actually have all that much anti-submarine defense. He had a couple of torpedo launchers. He didn't have many orcas or narwhals around the place. And he had battleships, Leviathans, which have got no anti-submarine, and then of course he had the Typhoons, which also have no anti-submarine measures. So they could have really laid waste to his base if he'd switched across, but he just didn't react to that threat in time, anywhere near in time. And with what limited eco he did have, of course.
Yeah, I think it was. It appeared that Alpha was a little surprised by the effectiveness of the Typhoons. But they really are just devastatingly effective. As Sorian said, I would not be surprised to see a reduction in the life, how long those squalls last. Because I think the issue wasn't so much the squalls themselves, it was the fact that once launched from the safety of his own base, they could effectively rampage across the map and took out Alpha's economy. But yeah, like I said, he did have an opportunity to counter that, and I think he missed his window because he started trying to play with AA, and it turned out that really wasn't going to work for him, because while they could take out the squalls, he couldn't push Neon's base with his narwhal force. He had to just go Barracudas. He had to go Barracudas hard. He had to not be running at 30% efficiency, and there was a window there where he could have come in, and those Typhoons would have been just sitting at the bottom of the sea.
Yeah, I just think Alpha just didn't make the right decisions at the right time, and Neon was on the offensive the whole time. The only really commendable thing that Alpha did do there was those mines along his shore. They did a great job of keeping the docks off of his main base, which was worth doing. And had Neon transitioned across to T2 bots and gone slammers as well, those are also a massive threat on this map. I've seen those used to great effect on Pacific in the past. So having those mines there was a wise choice, and he did well to keep those there. But other than that, the Orbital Titan just absolutely left the field. No idea why that was going up. If he was going to be building any Titan at all, I would have built the Ares rather than the Helios, the tank Titan, which has hover capabilities, because that's very effective against ships.
Yes, well, I think the Ares. I agreed at the time. Ghost or Sorian said that the Ares would have been a good choice. I think it was Ghost, and I agreed. But I think after seeing the effectiveness of the squalls, the Ares would have just been sunk, same as anything else. I don't think there was anything above the surface of the water, because he took so long to recognise the tier 2 threat and the Typhoon threat. I don't think there's anything he could have done above the surface of the water at that point to bring back the game. It had to be Barracudas, because he lost his eco so quickly that he had really limited choices as to how to counter that threat. I think once you go, if you come tier 2 second in naval, that can really get you in trouble, and perhaps at that point switching to Barracudas is the way to go.